Let's connect as well with our fundamental guest joining in on the show, and we've got with us Daljeet Singh Kohli, who's joining in. Good afternoon, Daljeet, and let's get in your take on the auto sales numbers. How have you read into the numbers that have kicked in so far? Because it's been fairly positive across the board, largely fueled by the urban recovery and the strong demand.
Good afternoon. Yes, I think that was expected that auto numbers should be maintained as we have seen in the last few months. They have been recovering well and passenger vehicles doing well. In fact, Tata Motors has reported the best ever passenger car sales in their 9 years history. So I think tractor sales are still continuing to be good. We were expecting this. The good part is, and the key takeaway actually is that even commercial vehicles, especially the LCVs and the city, basically cargo kind of vehicles, they are picking up very well. So which is actually an indication that economy is also picking up. We have taking cues from this kind of data and expecting this thing. We had actually been very positive on Tata Motors. In fact, we have added it in one of our portfolios also. So we feel that yes, probably commercial vehicles will be the now next thing to watch out. Passenger vehicles are doing well, but commercial vehicles which were lagging are also now catching up that, and that should be good for companies like Tata Motors. Ashok Leyland is also one, but we feel that probably Tata Motors is better placed because it has both the things, and valuation wise also it is slightly better.
Just checking in, Motherson Sumi holding out quite well. Apollo Tyres firmly in the green. You've got MRF, Hero Moto as well as Bosch and M&M all flying high in trade. Daljeet, what's the sense that you're getting when it comes to the telecom space? Over the weekend, we had Jio doling out some fairly aggressive plans. You've got the Spectrum auction where analysts say there will be low competitive intensity right now as there seems to be sufficient spectrum. Your views?
Yeah, see, Spectrum, I don't think there is any major requirement right now. Few circles here and there, these companies, the existing players will have to beef up that requirement. But more important will be now to look for is 5G auctions. Whenever that happens in the next few months, it is likely to happen. And we think that probably Bharti Airtel is very well placed to encash that opportunity. They have already started testing it in some places, and we are very positive that they are technologically they're capable of taking that advantage. Financially also they have done good things and try to shore up their balance sheet so that they can be prepared to take the cost of this 5G auctions. Now to assume that why today the stock is down 5-6%, I think many people were feeling that probably this fight between the players and that ARPU is a given thing to go up. We will not have that kind of competition. I think that's a wrong assumption. Even though it is a three-player market, that severe competition is likely to continue. We don't expect any let-up on the competition, mainly because all players are equally strong. And all of them know that their existence is only on the basis of getting more and more subscribers. So how they can entice more subscribers, they will keep coming out with new and new plans. So Jio has come out with a new plan, and if we see this reaction of 5%, I think for us it is a good opportunity to add more to your portfolios. In fact, Bharti, we have recently re-entered around 550-600 levels to, I think, a month back in our portfolios. And today we have reiterated that we should be adding this, we should be taking this opportunity to add more. We think that over a longer period, competition will always be there in any industry, any business, but the player is competent enough to take that competition.
Sure. Kunal, wanted your sense on this breakdown that one is seeing in Bharti now that the MSCI buying is done with. Where is it that you see the next support for the stock? It's at 532 thereabouts right now.
So, yes, Aisha, I think this is a severe breakdown for the stock because, you know, what happened on Friday was some selling, some adjustment which was there, and which is why the volume tick on Friday was on the much higher side, because the chunk or the majority of the chunk of volumes happened in the last half an hour, last 20 minutes on closing on Friday, because of the monthly adjustment. But then, today, right from the word go, the stock opened on the downside. There was probably an expectation that maybe the stock could just take support at 550 levels. But 550 and the break below 550 mark has led to a very sharp, aggressive sell-off into this stock. Now I believe that for the stock, in fact, to turn around your question, for the stock to resume its rally yet again, I think it has to cross and convincingly break past about that 550 mark. Until the time the stock doesn't, is not able to show signs of breaking above that 550 mark, all of those minor, 5-10 rupee rally would probably be those, false kind of rallies for the stock price. So I think for someone, who's looking to buy Bharti Airtel, I think a better level to buy would be about that 550 mark, because generally these round strikes and round, figures as well act as, strong, I would say, pivot points for even the call writers as well. So I think 550 and above is the breakout for Bharti Airtel till the time the stock would remain below this level. I think it could probably go through a downward drift yet again.
Okay, fair point. And on the other hand, Reliance, because you can't really draw up any trend, while it did have very wild swings last week with the market rise and then the fall, right now it's just at a sedate 2100 thereabouts.
So even for Reliance, I think the level is actually at the 2100 level. We've discussed this quite a lot of time, that the stock is taking its time to break past about that 2100 level. But the only question is that, with how long can Reliance remain to be an underperformer? So, I think it's been 6 months, if I'm not wrong, or 6 expiries that, Reliance has underperformed the Nifty, and both of them have gone to a completely different tangent altogether. So the Nifty has moved up significantly higher from those September, start levels, and Reliance, in effect, has gone through a correction of almost 300 points from those 2,300 plus levels. So, which means that there's bound to be a sooner than later catch up for the stock price, and I for one believe that it's just a matter of time that Reliance would also try and play a strong catch up on the upside. The charts are quite robust. The open interest is not skewed as what is the case in many of these other large cap names, especially Bharti Airtel, for example, which is why there is probably that added, I would say, safety cushion for Reliance Industries, expecting that the stock would break out on the upside. So if I have to bet on maybe either of these stocks, Bharti Airtel or Reliance, from current levels, I think Reliance seems to be much more stronger of a chart. About 2,100 levels, I think the stock could probably rise up another 8 to 10% higher, closer to 2,300, 2,350, which was the previous high for the stock price.
While most of the leadership is coming in from the auto basket, the PSU banks have succumbed to a bit of pressure. So just about flat with a mild negative bias. BOB in the red, Bank of India, Union Bank, Canara Bank too now has slipped into the red at 157. Daljeet, are you comfortable with this trade? Because these were the darlings of the last month, of course, largely fueled by the privatization news. But does the PSU bank trade make you comfortable?
Not at all. We are not positive on PSU banks per se. In the banking space, we have been only banking on private sector banks. Both HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank are part of our portfolios as of now. We may be looking at Axis Bank at some point of time, but as of now, these two are the bigger ones there. We have avoided public sector banks. See, this trading bet could have worked very well, because in the last 1 month, all this news and budget announcements about privatization, etc., had been there. But our view is that this issue about asset quality and their cleaning up still needs a lot more time. It's not so easy, and it is not going to go away so fast. In fact, I think today some other people have come out with a report on BOB that now again there is a risk of formation of NPLs, etc., which is very much there, which is very clear. So to assume that by making a bad bank, by doing the management commentary that things are now improving, suddenly all of their balance sheet problems will go away, I think that is not a right thing to look at. So we have avoided public sector banks. We have remained only with the private sector banks, and that will continue.
Kunal, let's get in a take on the charts as well. What's your outlook on PSU banks?
I'm very bullish on PSU banks. Avan, if there is one pocket of momentum which the markets are clearly showing and probably tilting towards, then it is the PSU pack overall. PSU banking names like SBI, I think has been one of the strongest chart because that's been one of the leader stocks in terms of breakout. One of the few, very few PSU banking names to manage to come back to a multi-year high for itself. And of course, that's been the torchbearer as such for the entire PSU banking sector. But then when you look at momentums in other tier two large cap names or the mid cap names, there are bouts of momentum which you keep on spotting on individual names. So Canara Bank, the likes of Bank of Baroda, PNB above those 33, 35 levels as well have given a strong breakout. So these stocks are showing those signs of breakout every now and then. What is very, very typical, Aman, is also the fact that these stocks have changed their year-old, 5-year-old behavior of being a sell-on rally kind of candidates. Whenever you saw the markets going through a downtrend or going through a very sharp correction, there was always this a knack and a habit to try and short the PSU banking names. But this time it's more of a turn of events which has happened for these sector, and I think which is what is atypical of the characteristics of the PSU bank. So if I have to bet on one of the names, I think SBI of course would probably take the larger chunk of the weight on the PSU banking pack. But then there are other stocks like the likes of Indian Bank, which is doing exceptionally well. Even Canara Bank and Bank of Baroda are the ones which look fairly attractive. So for short-term trader, I think the momentum is momentum is the key. If you see these stocks moving up, say another 2-3% higher from their current levels, then there could be a chance that you might see a momentum spillover coming into the entire PSU banking pack.
All right. Thanks so much, Kunal, as well as Daljeet, for joining in and sharing with us your market outlook. Let's take a very short break. Come right back for more.